to the issue of women emancipation. You are one of the silent promoter of women emancipation in Nigeria. You've developed a lot of young people, you know, sponsor a lot of young people to realize their ambition. How do you think we can achieve this on a larger scale, especially in the political environment? You know, we're talking about 35% affirmative act for women in political leadership, but right now there's a lot of agitation. They're saying this government has not done enough in that. But how can we help a lot of young women?
I do not believe in tokenism.
Okay.
And I do not believe that your sex debars you from achieving greatness.
Okay, ma'am.
When we were young in Western region, the orientation was be your best. Achieve the best you want to, because the system allowed us. As a Yoruba girl growing up in Western Nigeria,
yes, ma'am,
I didn't have any discrimination with my male colleagues in the school. So I really don't have a grasp of tokenism in anything in life. I believe you must earn whatever you set your mind to be. All the same, the Nigerian system is so skewed against the female participation.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to raise.
But for the female to excel, we have to drop tokenism. Let's go into the field. Let's fight these things together. Let's have ideologies, let's have principles. As far as I'm concerned right now, the politics of when I was young in this country was the politics of ideology, capacity building, welfareism for your people. All those principles that make politics is gone with the nincompoops that occupy our space.
Indeed, nincompoops indeed.
Or serious-minded people, politicians without ideology. Today they're in APC, tomorrow they're in PDP, the other day they're in ADP, the other day they're in SDP. This wasn't what we experienced when we were young. We knew who was Action Group, AG. We knew who was NCNC. We knew the types of peculiarness in the West. Even though the West was predominantly Action Group, there had been successful NCNC people in the West. We never heard that they jumped. I don't know, Buson or Blessed Mary, we never heard that he jumped from his party into Action Group.
Yes.
There are families in the Kenya where Omolola came from who are diametrically opposite to his vision. I would never heard that the Shofola has jumped into Action Group. So we need to restructure politics in this country.
I think that's a fantastic
and that's why people like me just look.
You sit down and look.
I just hope the investment the country had in people like us will not come to nothing. I mean, what kind of politics are you playing? We haven't even started.
I think so. I think you're right, man.
As a child in a primary school in the Western region, you knew where you would be when you were 21.
So there was a program.
Yes.
There was a kind of.
Yes.
You know.
You are tutored.
Okay.
You are mentored.
When you look at the political space, is this some of the things that put fear to you? And
it's not fair.
Okay.
It's disdain.
Disdain.
It's disdain. For the level they have brought us to, is disdain. When people like the old Senate in Tafawa in Lagos, go and read your archives, see how they operated. It's the same country.
The same country, different people.
Even the Second Republic. Go and read how people like Joseph Wires as Senate President and Olusegun Saraki as Deputy Senate President. Go and look at how they handle this country. What are we talking about?
But whenever you open your television or you are opportunity to listen to the radio and you hear senators trade chairs, House of Remember trenches. How do you feel as
it's
an
not
elder
peculiar
statesman?
it's not peculiar to Nigeria, don't forget.
Okay.
It's a problem of developing nations.
Okay, ma'am.
But our peculiarity is that we don't learn from what we had. We have not learned from what we had.
Of history. We don't learn.
Yeah, we don't. Nobody. No, I've had discussions with Southwesterners representing us in the House who didn't even know that the Western Nigeria was independent or got their own independence in 1957. They don't know. They don't know that we had a regional government in this country. They don't know that the East got their independence in 58 and the North 59. They don't know that there were regional governments that were working.
That's a huge disgrace. That's a huge intellectual intellectual paralysis.
Bankruptcy.
I was in your town in Orikiti during the burial of your great father, the late Chief Gabriel, an educationist and a man of principle, and I saw the way politics rearranged itself during your father's burial in Orikiti. There was opposition coming. We saw Ifeanyi sitting in the same seat with the serving Governor Fayoshe,
yes,
and the former Governor Shegun, yes, and the former Governor Adebayo.
Yes.
Looking at Ikiti politics, you are from Ikiti, one of the prominent Ikiti towns.
Village.
It's a town, it's agricultural development. How do you see the politics of the city now? I mean, there's tension now. I mean, because during your father's burial, 4 of them sat on the same seat.
That is what my father's generation were all about.
Okay.
This is to serve your people.
And so why are we now shooting ourselves, killing ourselves?
I don't understand it.
Blowing guns and somebody.
My father died in an action group all his life, but had friends in other political forays. It didn't matter to him. As long as you are ideologically comfortable wherever you found yourself and make the best of it. How do you describe present-day politics? Prostitution?
That's crazy.
People who didn't win elections are occupying gubernatorial positions. What kind of chapter of history will they write about this present generation?
That's sad. That's sad. In Ekiti now, what do you see? We have a fireman that want to come back after being a governor and a minister, and we have a governor of Fauci who is trying to promote his deputy.
I have no comment
on that. Okay, now before we really round up, looking at Nigeria, if you are doing a forum.
You're talking about my daughter's marriage.
Yes. No. Someone of now comment on the last one really on Nigeria. If you find yourself in a room with 1,000 women, what is going to be your chief message to them? 1,000 young Nigerian women that are
fight for it.
Fight for it.
Fight for it. In Rwanda, the women fought for it. Rwanda is one of the most successful countries in Africa. It's a yardstick in Africa. After their own intercennine wars, the Rwanda, the Tutsis, the whatever, Hutus and Tutsis,
yeah.
That country has evolved. There are Nigerians who go to Rwanda today, they come back feeling sorry for themselves. You see? You can't even drop a piece of paper in the streets of Kigali.
In Kigali there?
Oh no.
So if I drink pure water and I throw it, what's going to happen?
It's not possible.
Oh.
They have reached that level that
I can't eat my maize now, just throw it.
No way. A country that defecates on the streets like our, a country where policemen are killed and nothing happens, a country where people are slaughtered, when we are not in what was that place?
Is it Sudan or
no,
Somalia?
Not Somalia.
Okay.
Herzegovina.
Okay.
You know?
Herzegovina in those days.
Yes.
Yes.
And then, no, in this Abuja, 6 policemen were abducted, 7. And it's not making topical news. Have you heard of that?
That's very wrong. That's not even too good to hear.
How did we become this type of people? We are immune to shedding blood. Even in Syria, where they are talking, they are crying every day. The world is listening to them. At least Russia is helping them to put up the insurgency.
Yeah,
so,
of course, the Syria issue is very crazy.
Yeah, but you are aware of it as a Nigerian. Yeah. Are you aware of what is happening in your country?
I'm aware, of course, to some extent.
Does it make topical news?
It does not even make secondary news. It does not make secondary news. You know. But what do you fear most about Nigeria as a elder stateswoman? What do you fear most?
Implosion.
Implosion.
Implosion. I didn't know explosion. Implosion. The system that does not favor its people will implode. There's nothing you can do about it. It happened in old Bulgaria. It happened in Czechoslovakia. It happened. If the system does not take cognizance of his main property, the main property are the people.
The main property are the people.
Yes, that constitute a nation. If you think some people are expendable, what I fear about is implosion.
Implosion.
Oh yes. Implosion in the face of tyranny. I don't like saying these things, but we shall create a platform where we will talk about this. And you men should also talk about it.
Okay.
We should not acquiesce to evil and tyranny. The vision we had of Nigeria is getting blurrer.
Getting blurrer. That's crazy. I feel so sad.
Where excellence means nothing. Is that not so?
Very much so. In fact, in education, we were somewhere yesterday during the restructuring, the book Pulling Nigeria off the Brink by General Samuel Forster, and all the speakers were talking about fear in the education sector.
In the education sector, which I'm very familiar with.
Yes, so you are a school proprietress.
This is the result of our first wife now.
Okay.
That was just given to me. Because we took the wife this year.
Yes, ma'am.
And I can tell you, I am happy.
With the improvements?
The least we got was a C4.
That's interesting. So that means you are doing enough in your own area.
We have A1, A2, A2, B2, B1. Yeah, this makes me happy.
So what's the secret of the Jemibewon educational?
Giving back to society.
Yeah.
Giving back to society, what society invested in.
Because I visited the school and I saw the quality of the students. I mean the kind of lifestyle and the educational value.
They have made me proud.
I was in the library, I saw the science library and I was like, why did you come and put this kind of sophisticated institution in a year? Then I went to the music department. I saw a whole lot of instruments that I've not even seen before in a church music venue.
It is that locality that produced Davido. Don't forget.
Your husband?
Yeah.
The general?
Is that not where he comes from?
Yeah, he came from there, but we're talking about the topography. Of course, there are some young people there enjoying themselves and getting value for education.
I've just told you,
yep.
My daughter's wedding did not happen in London. It happened in a village called Lewes in East Sussex, far away from the center of activities. And nobody felt we were not in England. The principalities, Abuja and Lagos, do not make Nigeria. The Nigerians live in these places you tend to overlook. And if all of us become city sojourners, what happens to the greater part of Nigeria?
A lot of people are running away from the village, and you know why?
Why?
Because they're afraid of wish and wish man. Now I have to tell you.
This is 2018.
Yeah.
We're not talking of 1818. If white men came to Nigeria, the Portuguese came first in 1414. Before the Europeans, other Europeans, before the British Isle, if they could come and colonize this country, nooks and crannies.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't think it's a great country?
think it's a great country. Only we're afraid of our backgrounds. We're afraid of our.
What is your background?
So the villages, the story
Is there anywhere in the world in pre-civilization? But even if you go to South America, there are museums. Africa is better off than those people. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Watch your National Geographic. Watch that channel.
Okay, ma'am.
It will expose you to the world. And you will see, thank God, as a black man in Africa, that we are far better than these people. In 2018.
Is that your favorite channel?
I watch it because I like to know the world.
I think you study French and international languages and all that. How does it influence you? Because a lot of people see you as somebody who is too gifted, especially in the art of international relationship.
Our time will come in this country. And it's very near. There are post-states that occupy our political space. They will give way because they will implode. They are imploding now, don't you see?
Yes, we are seeing it in the political atmosphere.
They are imploding now.
Yeah. How you describe your husband, the great man, General Medayese Jemibewon?
He's a retired general.
Yes.
We are focused on developing the next generation.
I interviewed him 2-3 years ago and he was saying a whole lot about you, that you have been able to balance his lifestyle. Okay, I interviewed him just, is it last year during the burial of General Jemibewon? He came to Ibadan and I met him. Yes, I met him in Ibadan. We met at the common play before he sojourned back to Ekiti. What makes this man unique? What is the secret of the romance, the love, the relationship?
He's quite contented with his life.
Okay, ma'am.
He doesn't copy people.
Okay.
He's brutally honest. Mark my word, he's brutally honest. In the Nigerian spectrum, brutality and honesty can give you enemies.
When you are sincere to yourself.
Yes.
Like Agnes Modupe and General Dupe Jemibewon. So what makes you so thick? You are this woman, I've been chasing you for 2 years, 3 years. Why are you so scarce?
Because I live in the village.
I came to the village, I didn't get to.
And I thank God this is the result of my village.
And that's the Jemibewon
International Academy.
Yeah.
This is an experiment. This is what I can do for community.
Jemibewon International Academy, this is fantastic.
That's a wonderful result. The children did well.
Well,
in that village you are thinking of, in our remote corner, people put their children's faith in our hands. To God be the glory.
You delivered. You always deliver.
Look at that. Look at that.
So what do you like
in
most?
Economics?
Okay.
This is nice. 82, B2, A7.
That's quite interesting. A1 there.
Yes, it's not our making, it is God.
A1. A1
yes.
Almost
A1,
7
A1.
places.
Yes, A1.
Now I see some.
Out of 11 children.
A1 almost 7 places.
Yes.
That's interesting. What is the secret of that school really? What is it?
Hard work.
Hard work.
Dedication. Focus. You know what you want. All I'm after is to produce children like me.
Who are leaders?
Yeah. Those things that I was imbued with as a child in Western Nigeria, we should transfer.
Your father is a teacher, I know.
Yes, and my mother.
What's the name of that school in Ibadan? The Color Background. Yes, Color Background.
That's where he retires in Patrick.
Yes.
And my mom too. So we know the value. It's not money.
Education.
Yes, you give it to your child. Your child can sustain itself anywhere when you have that implement to give to him. You don't need to give your child 6 billion. No. If you give a child such money, they will even waste it. And they'll become poorer than you.
Poorer?
Than you, ultimately. Because they don't know how they make the money.
Yeah, and the Bible confirmed that anything you don't work for does not last. So, what makes you tick as an educationist and administrator? What makes you unique and take? What is the secret of your concentration? People in your class party a lot. Every weekend you see them in Akure.
We all did that. We all did that.
You know,
we all did that.
In London, in America, in
Dubai. We all did that.
But
in the last 2 months, I've had principally 4 ceremonies all over the world. We have had it, but it doesn't deter from your main preoccupation about life. Give unto people what God has given to you. We can't all be complaining. We must do something to ameliorate the position of things in this country. Well, if you don't do it, the future is bleak.
Horribly bleak, like you said, Flora, terribly blurry.
You know something? Our crisis started from here.
MK Abiola.
1993. Eh?
Who's that?
MK Abiola.
Well, that's where the trouble started.
Don't cover that one.
No, I'm not covering it. Let me tell you, this was a time, that was a good Nigeria, where 2 Muslims won election. We didn't have any religious dichotomy. If they had allowed that government to form, we would have been out of woods. Because they will hand over, and look at. Have we survived 1993?
No, we have not.
So, Mom, what can you say about the honor that the President just given to His Excellency MK Abiola?
That was after 20 years. And
you want me to talk?
Yes, about that honor. Is it?
It was going to happen. This country, that's what I'm saying. Okay. If you don't study history, if you know what happened, you can't know where you are going.
Yes, ma'am.
So, President Buhari probably read history correctly. That's all. And he was bold enough to do what is right by MK Abiola. 2 Muslims. All of us voted for them. Let me keep my other comments.
Okay.